Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 2 of the Bold and the Brave podcast, a podcast for entrepreneurs by entrepreneurs with a focus in women, but we are here for everyone. I am your host, TheAmandaJade, and today, super exciting day, we are talking about vision boards and manifestation, and we're going to talk a little bit about that, mostly for mental awareness and being present in the moment. Vision board is something that, if you don't know what a vision board is, a vision board, we'll start with that, is basically a board that you've cut photos out on and placed them on, or made words on a paper, something that you see every day about manifestation and putting it into visual of what you want. So, and what you want to accomplish, whether that be for the year, whether that be for the quarter, whether that be for the next 6 months. That is a vision board and its manifestation. So that way your body will continually see it, and subconsciously your body will make whatever that vision board has come true, whether it comes true in that year or the year after or sometime down the line. But the goal is that you are telling your subconscious and the universe that this is what you want, this is where you want to be, this is how you want to do it, and it's basically putting it out there into the universe so the universe can start moving things and moving people to work in your favor. So we're going to talk about that today, and I think I'm going to do the deep breaths at the end of the podcast like we did last time. I think taking in the deep breaths are amazing and necessary. So I think we'll do it at the end of the podcast this time. I don't know. You guys let me know. Would you rather do them at the beginning or would you rather do them at the end? I'd love to hear your feedback. We'll also be talking about connections and how important they are today. And this is going to be, I guess you could say, a longer podcast. My first one was 20 minutes long or so, and this one will be just a little longer, I feel. It depends on what's going on and how much I ramble. So we'll rock and roll and just kind of see where it takes us. But back to vision boards. Let's do it to it. A vision board. I made one in 2019. And I remember putting like $10,000 on there, like a picture of a stack wrapped with a little label that said $10,000, and that came true in a sense when my property that I was working at sold, and I got all my PTO and sick time and paid time. I got all that, and I realized that I had ended up getting like 10 grand, and it just like kind of poofed out the way. But you know, money is very ever changing and it likes to move around. So if you are a person that likes to hold on to money, we probably would get along very marginally, because I'm very much a believer in you have to let money go for it to come back to you. But to each his own. I feel like my money relationship, which is something else we will get into, which is very important at a later podcast, is in the developmental stage, trying to break curses, like parental curses and generational curses with money and my relationship with money. So either way, that's a talk for another time. But putting things on that podcast, on that vision board, I still have it. And one of the things that I did was, there's a quote that says "hang in there," and I was very much in a depressive state for a part of 2019, and knowing that I put "hang in there" on there, when I would look at it, that reminded me, okay, we're just going to do another day, keep going, another day. And then there's a lithium battery on there that says positive energy, so that helped. Consistency is something that I'm still working on, and being proactive and productive. I am a procrastinator to a T, and I know it. I'm trying to break that as well by being consistent and going through moving forward with my not just dreams but my aspirations, and being a doer, being a dreamer and a doer. And now I'm thinking of the song Impossible from Rodgers and Hammerstein's Cinderella, that dreamers never make the dream come true. So we have to be doers around here. And that's what that vision board is for. If you are a visual person, that is something that will help you visually. And it is May. Oh my gosh, I can't believe it's May. This is crazy. It's never too late to make a vision board. So if you haven't made one, make one. You can make one for the second half of the year and say, boom, this is my third and fourth quarter goals. And go forward from that. For me, I own a boutique, which we started with body scrubs and lashes, and I did my first pop-up shop at the beginning of April. I did that, prepared for that in like 2 days, 2 to 3 days. That was insane. But doing a pop-up shop was on my vision board, and I just didn't know it. In 2019, I knew I wanted to be a content creator, but being an entrepreneur to this extent that I have decided that I'm going to become an entrepreneur wasn't on my vision board, but it's something that has manifested from that vision board. All of the elements were there, I guess you could say. All the recipes, all the ingredients were there, and instead of baking a cake, we ended up baking, everything. We ended up doing all this other stuff with it, which is perfect, and it's really something that is helpful for those of my people out there that are visual people. Manifestation, from what I have gathered, I am not a manifestation expert yet. I am still in the very much beginning stages of learning it and getting it through my head. This is something that we need to do daily. Script writing is another form of manifestation, where you're writing what you want to be doing, but you're writing it as in present tense. So if you want a G-Wagon and to be jetting off to Paris in your script writing journal, that's what you write. Dear journal, I'm so excited. Tonight I'm going to have to get on my midnight flight so I can fly to Paris, and my boyfriend or my girlfriend or my mom is going to come take me to the airport, because I don't want to get my G-Wagon to get hit in the parking lot, because the airport parking lot is crazy, and I don't want anything to happen to it just in case somebody goes crazy. That kind of thing. You're writing in present tense of things that you want to happen. So script writing is cool. I've done some script writing. It makes me feel better. It gets me in that memory bank for my subconscious to realize this is what we want. This is where we need to be, and deep down. So since it's not currently happening, what my subconscious will do is start to change things in my life for us to get to that space. And that's what manifestation is putting out there what you want, vibrating on that level, and being prepared for it for when it comes. That way it's not so much a surprise when it gets to you. You're putting out that positive energy, and in response to that positive energy, the universe will give you something positive that you want. That is what I have gathered from manifestation. So for me, I do script writing. That helps. I need to be more consistent with it because I don't do it every day. And I want to do my vision board because I need to do that. And your vision board, if you Google or get on YouTube and look for vision boards, it does not have to be this big board that's framed. That's like a 16 by 32 or like a 20. Actually, mine's like a 28 by like 35, but I think my first one is, or something like that. It doesn't have to be that big. It can be on an 11 by 15 size paper, or an 8 by 11 paper. Anything. It's just there for you to visually see where you want to be, emotionally, mentally, physically, financially. That is what that vision board is for. So I highly encourage you to make one. A lot of people like to make new vision boards every year. I think having a new vision board is every year is the best bet. I think for me personally, I would do a vision board every quarter. That way I know what my goals are this quarter and I can reflect quarterly instead of like looking through the whole year. You could even do a vision board for the whole year and then make quarterly vision boards on what you want. Like this is, and the goal is for it not to, what is it? I should say, you don't want your vision boards to counteract each other. It's just adding on, if that makes sense. So if you want to make $300,000 in your business by the end of the year, then you need to put that on your quarterly vision board. You need to make, I would suggest making like a, goodness gracious, I just forgot what it is. Like a little image to where you're raising money. I can't remember what it's called now. Of course, I'm drawing blank. As soon as I start the podcast, I start drawing blanks. I'm trying to make like a goal list, a goal counter for like the quarter, and you put set times on it. So if your goal is to make, we'll say $400,000 because I can't do math right now, to make $400,000 in a year. So from January to March, which is the first quarter, you need to put $100,000, and then keep putting to like the goal to $400,000. So that way, if you fool around and make $150,000, and you're already on this jump for next quarter, but your goal at the end of the year is to make $400,000, and your goal each quarter is $100,000 every 3 months. Which, if you are about your business and you are about your service industry, because if you're working in the service industry, as in servicing the people to that's something that they need, then there's no reason why you cannot make that money. So I would put, like I said, a $400,000 and just like shade in up to $100,000, if that makes sense. Like a timeline, not a timeline, but a line. But put a line or color in from $0 to $100,000 for this quarter. On the second vision board, put $200,000 to $300,000, or just put $100,000 and shade it in as you go. Does that make sense? That's what I kind of would do about it. So it's something, like I said, it's something for my visual people. I wrote my what I wanted, my goals and my aspirations down on paper first, and then I created my vision board for 2019, and I'm happy to say that it set me up for a lot of the things. I did not technically get all of my stuff that I wanted that year, but also I wasn't in the right mental state to accept those things, and that is something extremely important, which is being on the level. And we talked about in the first podcast is about staying ready, and that's what it is about vision boards. Here's the thing: you have to vibrate on the level of the thing that you want, and that way when it comes back around, the idea is, okay, this person is vibrating on my level, that they can handle me, they can take care of me, they can pay the bill that I come with, they can take care of the insurance that I come with, take care of whatever that needs to be taken care of with what I come with. I can go to this person. So, like, we'll go back to, if you want a G-Wagon, there's a wait list for them, so I would pick another car, honestly. But if you want a G-Wagon, then to be on the level of a G-Wagon, I would suggest, what works for me, because I'm a touchy-feel person, and I'm a visual person, for me, it would be, I need to write down, I'm driving a G-Wagon, and my scripts, and my daily scripting. I need to write down that I'm driving a G-Wagon. I need to know everything about that G-Wagon. So how do we do that? We research and we go to the dealership and sit in a friggin' G-Wagon. Let me tell you something. They're not going to tell you, oh, I'm sorry, you can't come sit here. You can't get in this car. You know why? Because more and more people, entrepreneurs especially, have come through wearing rags and have pulled out money, stacks out of their back pocket, and bought these cars cash. So going through and saying, going through, having that attitude that you have the money to pay for whatever you want that they have on that freaking lot is everything. So when you go to the Mercedes dealership, and Mercedes G-Wagons are Mercedes, yeah. So when you go to the Mercedes dealership and they have a G-Wagon on the floor, you go through, you look at it, you dress the part, and I say dress the part, and so don't go in there looking toe up from the flow up, okay? There's a difference between being comfortable, and then there's a difference between going in there and looking like crap just to see how they're going to treat you. Don't do that. Go comfortably. Go in what you would go in if you have the money. When you have the money. I'm sorry, it shouldn't be an if you have the money. It's a when you have that money. So if you would go in jeans and a t-shirt with the 400 grand in your pocket, ready to buy the, I think what, G-Wagons are what, 100 grand now? 120 grand if I'm not mistaken? Then do that. So it's all about your attitude, your vibration level, and how you present yourself. And all you have to tell them is, I'm looking for a G-Wagon. I know they're on the wait list. I'm sorry, the G-Wagons, they start at $131,000. Jesus Christ. And they got 416 to 577 horsepower. Okay, I'm down for that. But not for 131, Jesus. That's the starting price, y'all, but that's what people do. That's the base model, by the way. The AMG is $156,450. That's the starting price for that one. So if you want a G550, your base is $132 basically, and then AMG is about $156,000. So just so you can get in your mind what you need to be doing, how much money you need to take with you. Let's see. So we'll do AMG because it's a go big or go home situation, right, for me. Times Texas tax rate is 8.25. So times the tax rate, that's $169,357.13. That is without all the extras, taxes, titles, and fees, and all that. And then you divide that. I don't want to do anything over 5 years. So we'll do divided by 60 months. That is $2,822.62 a month. For the car payment, that's before interest, that's before all the extra little fees that they throw in on there, and that is for the AMG's base model. That's the straightest configuration once you hit an AMG. So that means when you're budgeting, when you are manifesting, you need to figure out that your insurance, plus your insurance, guys. So that means with your car, that means whatever you decide that you are going to make a month, you need to make whatever you're paying with your entrepreneur, whatever you're paying with your home, plus an additional $3,000 for your car payment if you're going to take that G-Wagon. Does that make sense? So for me, knowing that number, if I want a G-Wagon, means, okay, that means I need to make at least 15 grand a month. I need to clear 15 grand a month, because I guarantee you the insurance is at least another $300 or $400. So I need to clear monthly so I can comfortably afford my G-Wagon 15 grand a month. So I could write that down, and once I figured that out, so if you want a G-Wagon and you want an AMG, I just gave you the number. So boom, boom. Now I'm going to the dealership. I'm going in what I'm comfortable in and what I'm making 15 grand a month in. Does that make sense? Like, I'm putting myself mentally in that state. So my vibration level is higher, because when you want a luxury car, those people that are driving those luxury cars are vibrating on another level. So you need to be able to vibrate on that level and surpass that level. So when you finally do wait the whole year for the G-Wagon, because the waiting list, I believe, is 13 to 15 months long, then you're good. Okay? You don't have to worry about it, because you're like, you know what? I'm already ready. I've been ready. And the car is just the icing on the cake now. So That way, when you've got your G-Wagon and you go into the dealership and you've already mentally picked out the G-Wagon you want, whether you want the black one, the white one, whatever color it comes in, then you know that's the car that you need to go sit in. If you wanted a base, then you need to sit in the base model, not the AMG. If you want an AMG, then you need to go sit in the AMG model that they have on the at the dealership. And this way, you've got that energy. And if they let you test drive it with somebody in the car, I know some dealerships aren't really doing test drives right now, but if they let you test drive it, test drive the car. You need to know how it feels, how it moves, how it takes turns, how it accelerates. You need to know all that and remember that feeling so that while you're vibrating on that level for this car, for this house, for whatever you want, you're already vibrating there. You've put it up there and you've put it out into the universe and saying, this is what I'm going to be able to afford. This is what I can afford. This is what I will afford. And I'm already done. And once you take it back, because even like I said, make friends with the sales associate. Who's ever there that's helping you with that car. I personally don't buy a dang thing if I'm not greeted. You are going to have to greet me to earn my money. So whoever is going to come and greet you and to treat you like a customer, like you've got that money, learn their name. So that way when you're ready, when it's time to place the order for it, you can come back and say, you know what? I've got the money now. The universe has worked in my favor. Where's Mr. John at? Because when I came up here the first couple times, nobody wanted to talk to me, but Mr. John came up and said something to me. So I'm buying my $169,357.13 car from Mr. John. Because he spoke to me correctly. He greeted me when I came through the door. He talked to me like I was a normal customer. And he made me feel comfortable. So that way when you know exactly who you're coming back to. Does that make sense? So now when you've got that money and you've got all of your aspects in order for what you need to do, everything is already lined up, guys. Everything is already lined up. So going in. So now, once you're making 15 grand a month, you're clearing 15 grand a month, which means you need to really be making like 18 to 25 grand a month to clear 15 because taxes are up. So you need to be ready for that. And then once it comes through, you'll be like, boom. All right, I'm ready. Where's Mr. John at? I'm buying my truck from him. Does that make sense? Same thing with real estate. You find a realtor that you love that is going to take care of you, that's not going to treat you as you're wasting their time. And if it takes you 3 years to buy that house, guess what? That real estate agent just made that commission because they took the time and you took the time to feel that. That's what manifestation is all about. Is getting yourself on that level, putting it out there, and getting yourself ready for when it approaches you. You are mentally, physically, financially, and emotionally ready to take on whatever you've put out there. So that's why I love manifesting. That's what I've gathered from it. I would love to know what you guys gather from manifestation, and if you do manifestation, if you practice it, if you don't, I would love to hear your comments and your ideas and everything down in the comments section. So another thing that I want to talk about is being mentally present, and that also is a part of the get ready and staying ready moment. Life is going to kick you in the ass. A lot of us have already found that out. Life has kicked me in the ass several times. And knowing that, okay, we have to get through this. Pushing yourself past the dark days and past the, I don't want to do this today, but I'm still going to do this kind of days. That's what is being mentally stable. Not even stable, but being mentally present. to manifest correctly, you need to mentally be here. So if your manifestation isn't working, are you mentally present every day? That is my question to you. On your worst days, are you still mentally present in what you want? I'm going to tell you something. When you are an entrepreneur, you need to be going at it every day, hard for your business every day, just like Phineas and Ferb went hard every day during the summer to make the day the best day. And some of y'all are laughing and trying to figure out what the hell is she talking about. If you have not watched Phineas and Ferb, oh my gosh, you need to. It is a friggin' hilarious little story. I love Phineas and Ferb. It is on Disney Plus, and I'm sure you can find some YouTube videos on it. Phineas and Ferb, for those who don't know, are these two kids that are, first off, they're a blended family, and they decided that they're going to make every day of summer count, because when they go back to school, they know they won't be able to do as much. So, like the first day, they build a roller coaster that goes through town. And every day after that, they do something crazy and extreme. They made a big soccer field. They made a elevator to the moon. They went to Mars. They've made a platypus-themed restaurant. They have a pet platypus named Perry, who's also a secret agent. It's hysterical. I love it. And Phineas and Ferb, Phineas is shaped, his head is shaped like a triangle, so it legit looks like a Dorito. It's just the funniest thing. I highly recommend it. You need to be about your business just like Phineas and Ferb were about making every day special. They became international pop sensations with their one-hit wonders. Their mom is an international pop sensation, and like, it's crazy. It's a great show. I'd highly recommend it. This is not sponsored, but you need to be about your business just like Phineas and Ferb were. And if you can't relate to Phineas and Ferb, relate to Candace, who's the bigger sister. And her goal every day of the summer was to bust her brothers. And that is where we see consistency, because she did not let up. Even when it came to her relationships, she was like, oh my gosh, I love Jeremy, but I need to bust my brothers. Jeremy, bust my brothers. Jeremy, bust my brothers. Jeremy, bust my brothers. And she's consistent. So you have to be consistent like Candace is, and she always fails to bust them. I think she busted them once, but it really didn't count. So you have to be consistent like Candace and persistent like Candace about your business, and you need to be able to have that ability to think outside the box and to make the best out of every day and make the most out of every day in your business. And I know this cartoon is for like teens, like not even teens, like it's a Y7, I'm sure, cartoon, but it's so good. I highly recommend it. But it's crazy, because and that again shows that we can take inspiration from anywhere. You can be watching a TV show and find inspiration. It's a cartoon, okay? I don't even watch real TV anymore. I watch all cartoons. I deal with real people all day, every day. At the end of the day, I just want to watch a cartoon that's very predictable, that's I can still enjoy. So boom. And being mentally present allows me to do that. So for me, since I haven't made a vision board, my first half of the year hasn't gone in the way that I wanted, but I did do a pop-up shop that was successful. So I was super excited about that, and I went with the intentions of selling out. And did I sell out? No. But I did make more than I had ever expected to honestly make. And for me, that was worth it. That was worth the stress of 2 days. And one day I'll tell you guys about that. But I want you guys to figure out what grounds you. And for those people that said something else other than themselves, figure out how you can make yourself your ground. Because people, places, things, pets, animals will move. Unfortunately, some of them will pass. And you need to be able to ground yourself. Let me say that again. having something, a person or an animal be able to ground you is amazing. But at the end of the day, underneath it, you need to be able to ground yourself. There's a lot of people that are going to come in and out of your life, and they're going to be like, oh my gosh, this guy was my everything, or this girl was my everything, and I can't live without her, and I can't live without him. And guess what? You doing it. Living without that person. And here's what you have to realize. When you start manifesting, start being on that vibration of what you want, people will come in and out of your life like flies. And I say that like flies because flies will come in, they'll linger, they'll buzz around you for a while, and then once you think they're gone, they come back. And sometimes they gone when they're gone when they're gone. And sometimes you have like those horse flies, big frickers, and sometimes you have the baby flies. You have to figure out if this person's a horse fly or this is a baby fly, because the horse flies are slow, so you can knock those out and get them out the house. But the baby flies are quick, and they stay around a little longer, if that makes sense. So figuring out a person and realizing, okay, the universe is bringing this person into my life for a reason. Why are you in my life? And when you start thinking about people like, why are you in my life? Oh my gosh. You'll be sitting around going, why is this person in my life? Do I need this person? Is this person going to help make me move forward? Is this person going to keep me moving forward? If not, guess what? That person is not there to be there for permanently. There's a lot of people that come into our lives for pleasure and excitement, and there are people that are coming into our lives for pain, unfortunately. And I try to remember myself personally that everybody comes into my life for a reason. Everybody comes through life for a reason, and it's never a waste of time. It was an experience. It was a lesson. So stop thinking of the ex or that person as a waste of time. They weren't a waste of your time. They were an experience. They were a lesson for you to learn from, and you realize that when you're present in the moment. I tell people all the time, and I tell myself all the time, people come into your life and try you, if you will, for 3 reasons. 1, for you to figure out where you stand. 2, to get a reaction out of you. And 3, for the other people to figure out, to see how you're reacting. So if somebody comes up and they're yelling in your face, especially if they're at work, because people in work be bold, especially if you work like a regular corporate job right now. People at work be real bold. They be coming up to you, losing their dang minds, and you be like, okay, Jesus, am I finna lose my job today? Because Brenda is up here in my face like she about this life, and she don't know that I'm the right one every day. And here's the thing. They're doing that so, like I said, 1, you can figure out where you stand and what you will take. 2, so they can get a reaction out of you and they know if they can push you the next time. And 3, for everybody else to see how you react. So it is never just this chick is in my face just because she feel like it. No, she's getting a reaction out of you so you can see, she can see, and everybody else can see. So you need to remember that when you come in contact with someone, and it doesn't always have to be a negative contact. It can be a positive one. So if someone asks you, hey, if we gave you 20 grand for your business, what would you do with it? Even if she's by herself, I guarantee you somebody else heard you. Because walls have ears. And they have the book, If Walls Could Talk. Oh my gosh. Everything that you say can come back to you. So make your words intentional every time you speak. Every time it comes to a moment of reckoning, make your words intentional. Always remember that this person is put into your life for a reason, even if it's a quick second. Make it intentional. Make it right, and whatever right is to you. And also learn, I say this, if you act up, you can get snatched up. So there's going to be a lot of people in this entrepreneur journey, especially when you are vibrating on another level and you're getting your snaps together. And I'm going to try not to cuss, and I apologize if I do. If you're not a cussing person, I'm going to try not to cuss in the podcast. But I have a mouth like a sailor in real life, so I'm going to try not to cuss in the podcast. But if you have, what's the easiest way to say this? Are vibrating on another level and you're going through life minding your business and getting through and vibrating and waiting for these blessings whilst you are pursuing what you want, there are going to be people that are going to come and poke at you because they feel like you are untouchable. And here's what I like to say, and I say it 3 times because I say it in 3 different ways, because there's a lot of people that feel, even though I have not finished school or that I went to community college, that I'm not educated. I am an African American woman who's 26 years old that has made mistakes, and that'll make more triumphants as I go. More triumphs as I go. So I let people know ever so nicely when they get in my face. In life, you have the right to free speech. You also have the right and the privilege to accept the ratifications and the consequences that come with what you said whilst you are protecting your freedom of speech. In other words, everything we say or do has consequences. Whether they're good consequences or bad consequences, there are consequences to what we say, nevertheless, and those consequences can come from anywhere. In other words, if you act up, you can get snatched up by anybody. How many times do we see, oh, well, this person was the CEO. Saw this video the other day where the CEO of some tech company was harassing this boy because he went to prom in a dress and it was at a hotel and he was up there bothering him, and the guys were recording and he was talking crap about this boy that was in this dress who looked fabulous. And he was just, of course they posted it because they didn't know who this guy was. But apparently he was the CEO of a tech company. And what happened? The next day, the tech people saw the video because, of course, other people that have problems with him or anybody else from the tech company saw the video and they said, you know what? We're going to release you from your duties. Have a magical day. That's acting up and getting snatched up. He didn't get snatched up by that boy. He got snatched up by his company, and now he's unemployed. And we have to remember that as we're saying these things, and as you're saying, and as people are saying them to you, okay, if I act up out here with all of these crazy people, somebody's going to snatch me up, or something's going to happen. So let's go through in life and trying to not make those asinine comments, and when it is time to speak up, to have the courage to be brave enough to speak up, and going through knowing what's right from wrong, and if you are in the wrong, apologizing. That's part of being an adult, because adulthood, let me tell you, is so good. It's so ghetto. This is the worst hood I've ever lived in, adulthood. And we here for the long haul. It's going through remembering, okay, I'm a human being. This person is a human being. But if they're going to be nasty about it, I don't have to give them a reaction. And that is what a lot of people want. They want a reaction out of you. And let me tell you, when you are vibrating on another level, all these people come out of nowhere. Legit nowhere, and they're just like, oh my gosh, she's doing well, let me go mess up her day. That's what people do. That's what some people think. Well, she's doing this, and let me tell you, you inspire more people than they'll ever let you know about. I did a photo shoot when I was in South Carolina. I went for my birthday weekend when I turned 25, and I went and I did a photo shoot. My boyfriend take photos of me. And this girl, and it wasn't my birthday weekend, I think it was like 2 months before my birthday weekend, but this woman comes up to me who was turning 35 that day, and she said, we saw you over here taking photos, and you inspired me to take a photo. And so I just want to say thank you. You look amazing. And I'm a plus size chick, so I was super excited. And I was like, oh my gosh, thank you so much. I'm glad that I could help my confidence help somebody else. And that's what we're here to do, is help each other move forward. And so she was out there taking bomb photos for her birthday that she wasn't even going to take because she didn't feel like she could do that. And it sounds like I'm tooting my horn, and I don't mean to toot it in this way. Then because she probably still would have taken photos, but it wouldn't have been to that point where she was posing on the rocks like I was posing or something like that. It was probably, you never know. And I'm trying not to take full credit for that because that wasn't all me. She had to see it within herself to do it. But I'm saying, when you're on an entrepreneur journey, or even just a journey where you're trying to boss up in your own life, people are going to be mad that you are moving forward. And you have to be ready at all times to snatch somebody if they need to be snatched, to alert someone so they can snatch them, something. So what I also have my manifestation on my vision board is peace. And I'm very much like a Miss America pageant. I want world peace because I don't think there's any reason that we should be out here losing our minds with each other, but it is what it is. That's my personal opinion. But I feel like my mental peace is more important than anything. So if my mental peace is disturbed, guess what? Amanda is out. We're piecing out of that joint because I'm not going to stay somewhere where my mental peace is disturbed. There's always another job. I'm going to say that again. There's always another job. There's always another man, woman, person. There's always something else that you can be doing to make whatever you need to do that fills that void, that gap of what you were doing. Always something else. So don't ever feel like you can't leave, because you can always leave. Is it going to be hard as hell? Heck yeah. It's going to be hard. And you're going to be in a state of vulnerability. But you also have to remember that this is temporary. That situation is temporary. And if you really want to get philosophical and deep on it, life is temporary. We are just here to make sure that we live every day. That's it. So do not do anything that's going to cause your mental state to be out of peace. Don't let anybody in your life, I don't care how fine they are. I don't care if it's a celebrity that you're in love with. If Chris Hemsworth comes up to me and says, oh, I love you, and da-da-da-da, and we're going to be together, and da-da-da-da, and realizing that he got a full-on wife with kids, and you want me to be the side piece? Nah, pimp. I love you, but we can't do it. That's going to disturb my mental peace. And hers. So, but I digress. Like I said, our goal is to stay present in the moment. Our goal is to create a vision board if that's something that you think will help with your manifestation journey, or writing your goals down, or because I think manifestation is all about putting it out physically. So even if it's speaking, I think speaking, I would have to speak it every day, which a lot of people do. And I do speak it every day when I'm writing. But a vision board is something very beneficial. I do Shipt in my spare time to help with the bills. And we deliver to a grocery store a lot of places. And I remember taking these groceries into this guy's place, and he has a vision board. Dude does not look like he'd be the type of dude to have a vision board, but he got one. And I didn't make one for 2020, and it wasn't my best financial year, but it is the year that I decided that I was going to go into business for myself. So I think a vision board will help me for the third and fourth quarter of the year, especially for the one I want to do with my boutique, which is opening a physical store and having a conference, a Women of Culture conference. You can follow them on Instagram as well. And just moving forward with my business, because I told myself that 2021 is the last year that I will be working for another company. And there's still time to do that, even though I'm kicking into high gear now, and it's today's May 9th. So you'll probably hear this podcast like in a couple weeks or so. But for me right now, today, it's May. So even though I've not lost the first half of the year, but haven't been as vigilant with it as I need to be, doesn't mean that I can't kick ass in the next half of the year and move forward and keep going. So yeah, I think we covered most of it, and hopefully you've got something out of manifestation. There's a book called The Secret. I'm sure we've all heard about it. You can find it at Barnes & Noble if you're a physical book reader still. And then I'm sure it's on like Kindle and Google Reads and Apple, if you're an Apple person, on their Play Store as well. So if you are looking for more into manifestation, I would read into it. And there's a whole series on The Secret about manifestation and waking up with a positive attitude to have a positive day, and realizing that you probably didn't have a bad day. You just had 10 to 15 minutes of someone being shitty to you. And are you going to let that 10 to 15 minutes of someone being crappy to you determine your outlook of the rest of the day? And being mentally in the moment is realizing, you know what? It's okay. I didn't have a bad day, really. I had 10 to 15 minutes that was crappy. And that 10 to 15 minutes is over. So let's try to make the best of our day. Let's make the best of our day. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. We'll end with our breaths. I think I'm actually going to do the breaths in the beginning. I know I started at the end. I started at the beginning, saying I'm going to do them at the end. But I think I'm going to do the breaths in the beginning. I think that'll help me as well. So we'll inhale and exhale. And we're inhaling through the nose and exhaling through the mouth. And we are using all of our lung capacity. So I did 3 big deep breaths. Hopefully that helps you guys with your days. And I say use all our lung capacity because I'm a choir nerd. So we learn to when we're inhaling, our stomach expands, and when we exhale, our stomach contracts. So, and a lot of people inhale and the stomach contracts, and exhale when the stomach expands. Yeah. And in choir, we learn to do the opposite. So I would try doing that, inhaling with your stomach expanding and exhaling with your stomach contracting. So you use all of your air. You will be astounded by how much air legit you can use at one time, and how much air your lungs feel. Because when I remember doing it the first time, I was like, crap, I didn't know I had all this space in my lungs. Legit. I was like, oh shoot, we got a lot of space over here. Okay, let's use it. But I hope you guys have a great day. I hope that you enjoyed this. Please subscribe if you haven't already. I hope you enjoyed this. This is a longer podcast. So again, let me know in the comments or on the IG post, on my personal IG post, how you feel about the I don't ever get notifications, but I start to podcast and I do. But how you feel about the podcast and what you want to see from it. We are actually going to have a friend of mine join us. Her name is Shoni. She is the owner of Expensive Habits Boutique, and she is making some big money moves, and I'm so proud of her. So we are actually going to have her on one of these podcast episodes. I don't know if it's going to be it's probably in the next 3 episodes, and depending on the feedback, I'll probably break that podcast up into a couple, or that session up into a couple of podcasts, so you're not getting overrun with information, because I'm very much a take information, digest it, and then come back for the next set, so you're not trying to like visually go through and figure out where you stopped out and let off at. So I'm super excited to have her on the podcast. I'm just waiting for my other mic to come in, and then we'll get her over here. I love you guys. Have a great day. Remember to mask up. It is still crazy out there. Let me know if you enjoy Phineas and Ferb. Go and watch the show. I guarantee you it is worth it. You'll learn something from it. And I will see you guys on the next one. Love y'all. Be safe. Deuces.